We have to have Sizzle videos on these pitches, but putting it on YouTube is a no. I almost passed out with embarrassment when she hit play and a commercial came on, and it was not a good commercial. Welcome. Today, we're going to go through what we learned at the TCA Pitch Event. I'll be teaching strategies for a successful pitch. Stick around till the end because I'd like to invite you to our upcoming toy challenge. I've been telling toy industry executives about this toy challenge. They seem excited. So first, thanks for being here. I'd love it if you could focus up, turn off your distractions, and make the most of our time together. And this is like a real teaching class. We got a whiteboard. Fancy. This is a little bit more of a workshop, community chat versus webinar. Well, feel free to unmute, raise your hand if you want to say something and you're like, Azhelle's deep into teaching, but I have a question. Just raise your hand. If there's a pause where you think you can interject a question, feel free to do so as well. So we're going to start. So first impressions. I want to start with a quick little lesson that will be beneficial for anybody who's here that has never pitched before, but also for my TCAers. The first couple minutes of your pitch meeting is crucial. And I want to do some work on your first pitch sentence. There were some TCAers that did this really well. There were other TCAers that struggled with, and I realized this is something we all need to work on. So whether or not you were in the pitch, I want you to work on this right now. So the first thing you need to know to work on that introduction is, one, your inventor studio or your company name. So if you are on the inventor path, you hopefully have an inventor studio. When I first started TCA, I used to tell people, you don't have to have an inventor studio. You can come up with it. Here's what it should look like if you do. But honestly, we're going to update that program to say, make an inventor studio. I have seen time and time again how having that official studio name really makes a difference for TCAers pitching. So I just want you to name your inventor studio, come up with it, and use that when you're pitching. If you're pitching as an entrepreneur, you're pitching to get your products into retail stores, you have your toy company name. So then you need to know your relevant experience in the toy industry. So some of our TCAers have 25 years experience as industrial designers. That's very relevant information for the toy industry. Some have been moms for the past 20 years, and their experiences being a mother has led to their inspiration for the toy or game that they're going to show. So whatever that relevant experience is, for me, I might say I've worked in the toy industry, so it's a little bit different. But let's say I'm looking for relevant experience of my own that does not have anything to do with the toy industry. I would say, well, I had a costume company for 6 years, so I'm really skilled in sewing. So I've got the innovation I'm going to show you today has something to do with that, right? The next thing you need to know is the toy category your idea falls into. Something that we struggled to do at this event because we were so limited, our pitches were 10 minutes long, was give them a preemptive of what you're about to see. And that is so important to get them in headspace. A lot of these inventor relations reps manage multiple categories, even if they're only slightly different, like family games and party games, but they manage multiple categories. So we need to prime their mind to know what they're looking for. So you should know if your toy or game falls into family game, party game, activity craft, arts and crafts, a plush, doll, etc. TCAers, if you're in the next pitch event and you don't know, ask me, but I am working out of a better process. So you have to select that as you apply, and then I'll update it if I think it doesn't quite fit. Now, the last thing you need to know is the name of the person that you're pitching to. When we have our TCA pitch events, I have a calendar of who is pitching to who, so you'll see their name, but you really have to know the name of the person you're pitching to. When we were pitching to his company, he had someone on the screen who didn't come in on her own Zoom account. So her name wasn't there, and I totally forgot her name. Worst part, her name is my middle name. Embarrassing. So know the name of the person that you're pitching to. All right, now that I hope I should have told you to write all those things down, because now we're going to do this. We're going to do a little Mad Libs. So I want you to fill in the blank. Type it, write it, whatever. This is going to be what you use when you start your pitch meeting. So hi, reviewer, my name is your name from your company or studio, and I have this many years of experience and your expertise or role. My experience with or in the thing inspired this category of product invention I'm going to show you today. So this statement is going to tell a bunch of information real quick, right? It's going to establish your credibility, tell them you're a professional inventor because you're presenting that invention studio, or tell them you are a professional toy company owner by having that name. It'll tell your years of experience in whatever that is in relative to the toy industry, and will prime them with the category they're about to see. I would love and have you guys work on this, and then I would love to take some volunteers, say it out loud, or type it in the chat and I will say it. Great. Andrew's open to sharing. I'm going to read two and then I will call on Andrew. Okay, so we've got some examples. Ed says, my name is, let's say Christian, because he's the only inventor relations rep here. Hi, Christian. My name is Ed Bond of MetaDreams Games. I have been the owner of a laser cutting business here in the Finger Lakes of upstate New York since 2019. Oh, that's a great one. And the primary part of the business is making and selling games that I have invented. I sell these locally in stores, at events, and through my website. Okay, well, the one thing we're missing here is I love the part about the laser cutting because that says, oh, he can make a prototype. But then I would end it there since 2019, period. And then I would go, my experience with, I know you're working at this maker studio, or my experience with prototyping, or my experience with laser cutting inspired the game invention that I'm going to show you today. I would probably stop it at the 2019 and say my experience with game invention is inspired. My experience with laser cutting inspired the game invention I'm going to show you today. Okay, awesome. Manisha says, hi, Christian. I'm Manish Burnwani from Adventure Craft, and I have 10 years of experience in merchandising. I feel like your merchandising experience was toy or kids, right? So I would throw that word in there. And if it wasn't, ignore me. My experience in the preschool, my experience in the preschool toys category inspired me. Oh, I see what you did there. All right, you're ahead of me. My experience in the preschool toys category inspired the interactive storyboard adventure game I'm going to present to you today. Okay, one edit I'd have for this one, Manish, is for the category line where you wrote my experience in interpreting. Oh, wait, who's this? Okay, sorry, things moved. My experience in the preschool toys category inspired the interactive storyboard adventure. Okay, I would say my experience in toy merchandising inspired the preschool game I'm going to present to you today. So you just want, with the categories you choose, you want to use categories, the words that the toy companies use to describe the categories. And storyboard adventure game is more specific to your product and not specific to their category. So their category might be preschool. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. And Andrew, please share yours.
Okay, well, I changed my company name because it doesn't quite fit your request. So here we go. Hi, I'm from AJD Studios. I have 25 years of experience as a photographer, teacher, and writer. My experience in those areas inspired the fun and unique puzzle invention I'm going to show you today.
Love it. Perfect. I love it.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you.
Love it. I have no notes. No notes.
Okay, thank you.
Gerardo submitted his, hello, Azhelle. My name is Gerardo from Digix and Studio. I did not know that was the name of your studio. I have 10 years of experience as a toy marketer in Latin America. My experience in interpreting toy trends from the US has inspired the plush dolls that I will present to you today. I have 10 years of experience as a toy marketer. Don't you have 10 years of experience as a toy marketer from Mattel? Oh, then
Seven
just
from
you.
Mattel and
Oh,
three
okay.
on my own.
And three on your own. I almost feel, I wonder if it should say, I have 10 years of experience as a toy marketer. I want you to use Mattel is where I'm getting with this. Those big names mean so much. You would not believe how much those names mean in the toy industry. So them knowing that you worked for Mattel during your pitch is they're already sold. So work that in there. And then my
Okay.
experience in toy trends from interpreting toy trends in the US has inspired the plush. Okay, so maybe what we could do is, hello, Azhelle. My name is Gerardo from Digix and Studio. I have 10 years of experience as a toy marketer in Latin America. My experience at Mattel inspired the plush dolls that I will be presenting to you today, or something like that, you know?
like it. Thank you.
I don't know if your experience at Mattel inspired it, or maybe it's I have 7 years of experience as a toy marketer at Mattel. And yeah, you have that personal story that connects to your dolls that I like so much more. And my experience as a father has inspired the plush dolls that I will present to you today. So another quick tip, so now we're going to have 8 tips today. But another quick tip is when you're pitching to retail and specialty retailers, they care so much about the story of the brand. So if you're a parent that created this for a child, they love to hear that. So if you could work that in, that's great.
Okay, perfect.
And
thank you.
yeah, awesome. And Ed did one more update. My inspiration to make games came from a dream, and my ideas have grown and developed by going to game conventions and getting feedback from players. I don't think that should be part of this. We have to stick to the structure. Let's get to know each other. Who are you? Just give me a 1, 2, or 3 to tell me who you are. TCA student or alumni, throw a 1 in the chat. Toy industry executive, throw a 2 in the chat. Aspiring toy creators who are not TCA alumni yet, throw a 3 in the chat for me. Hi, Joanna. Hi, Pam. Hi, Walter. All right, awesome. Allow me to introduce myself. That's me and my hubby, Christian. He works in the toy industry. I've had a corporate career in the toy industry since 2010. Worked on some great brands, mostly focused in arts and craft. And today I'm the toy coach and I work with most of you guys here. 7 toys awards, 3 toy patents, over 500 products developed and designed. I'm a speaker and educator in this industry. And today we are going to dive into some pitch tips. So we've got pitch tip number 1, before you pitch tip number 2, patentable idea, tip number 3, story building, tip number 4, the product connection, tip number 5, function over form. Oh, what does that mean? Tip number 6, no tube. Tip number 7, path tailored pitch and toy challenge info after that. And then we'll wrap with a Q&A. The Q&A, it could be for me, but we could also do like an advice swap share. All right. Before you pitch, this is pitch tip number 1. Before you pitch, research the toy company. We had a few people pitching that did this more than even I did, and it was so well received. One example is Durat. She was pitching an arts and crafts product to Hasbro, and in her pitch, she said, "I know that the only arts and crafts product you is Play-Doh." That's absolutely the only play you have in that space. So if you were to take something like this in, I know that this would have to be like a new product and entry point. And that really perked up the interviewer's ears. Now, although he said that they're not ready to open up a new brand for arts and crafts, so that was a pass, he was very impressed at the fact that she knew the brands and she actually spoke about it in the way that he spoke about it. So he restated some of what she said in a very similar language. And that's just a great look. When you're pitching to these toy companies, remember that this is just the first pitch. This is not the last pitch. It's just the beginning of your toy journey. I don't want you to look at it as I have to get it on this first try, or it's a waste if something I did is not aligned, because it isn't. What's very important is that you are showing that you are a professional. You're showing that you're getting to know their brands and their companies because you want to be invited back to work with them longer term. All right. So the next thing you need to research is the brand's current focus. What is the brand known for? One style of games, but they're trying to break into another style of games. Is the brand known for plush, but they're trying to break into another category? Has the brand traditionally produced a lot of collectibles, but because of the economic concerns from consumers and even retailers, they're looking for what could be an eco-friendly collectible? Having that focus on what the brand's current focus is super important. Okay. Next, existing product lines. You should research the toy company's existing product lines. You guys know in module 1 of TCA, it's all about market research. So the best thing for you to do is have a clear understanding of what they currently sell in the same category that you're pitching in. So if you're pitching arts and crafts, go to their website, filter by arts and crafts, and look at what they're currently selling. Vibe. What is this company's vibe? One comment we got from Mattel it was just so interesting to hear an executive say this, was anything that we produce has an aesthetic, essentially. And if you're pitching us a game, it has to feel like it came from Mattel. So one of the things I want to do in the toy challenge is analyze vibe and aesthetic. Like, we want to want to verbalize the vibe of these different companies so that we can look at something and we can all say, oh, that's a Mattel vibe. That's a Hasbro vibe. That's a relatable vibe. That's a Jazzwares vibe. Vibe is even important in these pitches. Now, market position. Where is the company in the market? Are they the top dog trying to hold on to their spot desperately? So they're being competitive with Mattel. So you want to show them a product that maybe Mattel just had that could one up what Mattel just released? Or are they an underdog who's suddenly gained the spotlight like Moose Toys and needs innovation to keep them there? Okay, okay, let's keep going. Okay, so how do you do that research? Like I said, go to their main website. As soon as you get assigned a pitch, whether it's from my pitch event or another pitch event, Mojo or the Shy Tag event, go to that company's website. Look at their toy categories, and you can start with a category that you know you're planning to pitch into. And if you don't even know what category your product falls under, you analyze their categories to try to figure it out. Who's their ITM? TCA, as you know, ITM is ideal target market. You figured out your own ITM for your product, but who is the ITM for the toy company that you're pitching to? Put those two ITMs side by side, and if you don't see alignment and you still want to pitch to them, see how you can adjust your pitch so that it better fits with their ITM. If you're pitching into retail, same thing. For retail, you actually want to analyze consumer data. So you want to go to like census data for that specific area. I'm sorry, city data for that specific area, and look at the demographics of the people in the area and see if you can find something that connects to your product, and you'll use that in your pitch. Then you want to search their best sellers. So for toy retailers, this will be a little bit more of a challenge. You might have to survey your current retailers and kind of ask them what's working so that you can try to use that in your advantage for new retailers you're reaching out to. But for toy companies, if you're pitching as an inventor, you can go on Amazon, sort by their best sellers. You can also go to the toy company's website, look at their best sellers, and see which ones cross and overlap. And look, as I say, TCAers, look at the reviews for those best sellers. What do people like about it? Break that down and try to use what people like about those best sellers to put into your pitch if it applies to your product, right? Because if there's a repeated message of, let's say, if there's a repeated message of a top toy company's most top performing item, that's, I love how this game is easy enough for our kids to play, but it's fun enough for us to play as well, then that is messaging that if applies to your invention, you might want to work into your pitch. Okay. Okay. You also want to look at their social media. Social media is a little bit more up to date because companies are going to kind of post more quickly than they innovate product. What's cool about social media is the comment section. It's like a second round of a less filtered Amazon review. So look at their social media, look at the messaging they're trying to put out, because it'll tell you how they're trying to be viewed by their consumers. And then you can look at their consumers' comments and see what consumers really think. And yeah, I'll use all of that for your pitch. The last way to look is toy news. So you want to look at the toy book is a good source to find out about licensing deals as well as licensing international. So find out about acquisitions, licensing deals. One moment in a pitch event that I could have handled better was when we met with National Sporting Goods. And luckily, the person in that event is an old friend from my Toys R Us days. But he started the pitch by saying, well, I don't know if you've been keeping up with National Sporting Goods. And my instinct was just to say no. And the moment I said no, I remembered I saw an article release about how Flybar had just purchased National Sporting Goods. So luckily, I was able to state it before he stated it. And I said, oh, wait, yeah, Flybar just purchased you. And then he was like, yeah. So that led into a whole conversation where we were able to bond and chat, but knowing that stuff up front, and had I come to the pitch meeting saying, I know you're just getting purchased, so it may be some time before you hear back, would have just let them feel like they were understood a little bit more. Looking at toy news. Another industry report you might want to get subscribed to is called the Bloom Report. It's like the top toy executive report out there. It's overwhelming, the amount of information in it, but every once in a while you open it up and you read something and you're like, oh, I'm so glad I read this. But it's quite a bit of info. All right, let's move on to pitch tip number 2, which is patentable idea. Okay, when you're pitching, you might have, hold on, pull someone into the screen. You might have an innovation and it's a cute little bear. And when you're pitching it, the actual innovation is that the bear's face flips, right? His faces change. He's so cute. Oh my gosh, he's adorable. But when you create that innovation, you have to package it in something. You can't just show them like I mean, you could, but probably won't just show them the mechanism of something flipping without any graphics on it and have them figure out how to use it, right? You're probably going to dress it up and make it look like this cute bear. Now, when you're doing the pitch, the most important part of this is the mechanism. What I don't want you to do, which we had someone do at this pitch event, was present this, an innovation like this, and say, oh my gosh, look at this cute bear. He's so cute. He's happy. He lives in the woods. He's brown. He's got these cute little feet. And he actually has this adorable heart on the back. And yeah, so if you turn his head like a facelift, but look at his hands. The beauty is the mechanism. Hyper focus on the mechanism. The mechanism is the patentable idea. The mechanism is what you're selling. The dressing is just to allow the toy company to see what's possible. The dressing gets them excited. It gets them to say, okay, I can see that in our line, but the mechanism is the focus. So instead of saying, this is my little bear, look at his cute little ears and his, instead of that, what you want to say is, this might look like an ordinary bear, but unlike most ordinary bears, this bear has many emotions. He's so emotional. In fact, he's got 6 different emotions. You can see them by turning the star at the top of his head and then flipping the face that appears. That focuses on the mechanism over this. So I want you to be super clear on what makes your idea licensable and make sure that your pitch is focused on that. I know you might get carried away with the IP of it, because once you create that mechanism, you're like, oh, but this could be so many things. It could be inside out. It could be, but the mechanism, they don't care about the IP that you're developing when you have a mechanism this good. So just be clear on what makes your idea licensable, and whatever that is, highlight that multiple times. That should be the main focus of your pitch. Okay. Then let's get into pitch tip number 3. And that is story building. So a great idea deserves a great pitch. And we had some great pitches at this pitch event, but the pitch that is going to stand out as my example for how amazing this pitch was Guillermo. Guillermo had, okay, fair point. So don't feel bad, TCAers. Guillermo has been pitching the same pitch for now 1 year, I think 1.5 years. So he has updated this pitch, but it was so good. Okay. Every minute of your pitch should build on the last, adding excitement like the arc of a story. And we saw that with Guillermo's pitch. We saw that with Guillermo's was really good. Okay. So here is a pitch narrative. So I took a story narrative and broke it up into what a pitch narrative could look like. So if you've ever looked into like how to build a good story, you'll see like that story arc where the climax is at the top. So I looked at that and I was like, how can we apply that to pitches? So at the very bottom, we'll have the setup. So the setup could be literally how to set up the game. The setup for this could literally be something like, this is a plush bear and he looks like every ordinary plush bear. And then after the setup, you get into the inspiration. This was kind of inspired by my child who has a lot of emotions. Or if it's a game, this was inspired by my need to connect with my daughter more. Then we get into the play pattern. How do you play with this thing? What happens? You show steps of the game. You show the functioning mechanism. And that's where you get to the climax, the wow factor. Now, with something like this, the play pattern and the wow factor kind of like interchange. So you're going to go right up to that climax really fast. But the wow factor of this actually could be, okay, you're turning this. You think there's 3 faces, but hold on, there's 6. That could be, yeah. So you could present this as like, he has many emotions. Now you see 3 faces and you're like, wow, that's impressive. And you're like, oh, wait, it's actually 6 faces. So that's how you could build that story. With Guillermo's pitch, he had a game, and let me see how I can say this without giving anything away. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he had a great game. He showed the entire play pattern of the game, and it was all 3D rendered. And it was a really good concept. So as a play pattern was going on, you're like, oh, wow, this is a really good concept. I don't think I've seen anything like this before. The wow factor was when he went to a slide and said, so we actually developed a fully functioning prototype. And you're like, holy, this exists. And then, so now this thing you've been seeing on previous slides and you're falling in love with it and you're worried to fall in love because you're like, is this a real thing? I don't know how to feel right now. You get to that last slide and you're like, oh my God, it works. What? And then he shows it in action and then explains the win-lose element of the game. So basically explains the game, shows the functioning prototype, explains how you win or lose, and then gets into how it works. Took apart the top of the toyetic element of the game and showed like the mechanism inside of it, showed how simple the mechanism was, and then got into Q&A. And usually by the time he got there, multiple people said, I actually had a lot of questions as we were going through your pitch, and you answered most of them. The one feedback I would give Guillermo is he is so experienced in industrial design, and I think mechanical design, and a little bit of software development. He's so smart. He would gloss over some of the most challenging aspects of his pitch. He would be like, yeah, so I coded this with Arduino, and then, there's some optical sensors and blah, 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 blah. And so like in one pitch, I stopped him and I said, listen, every time you pitch this, you mention Arduino like we know what it is and we don't. And he had to break it down and once he broke it down and told the toy companies like what he did and what's involved in this, they were even more impressed. So make sure that you're spending time on how it works and you're not assuming that the person you're pitching to knows, because usually the people that you're pitching to are like project managers, maybe designers. So if you create a mechanism that's really cool, they have no idea how that works. So you might have to explain that to them. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, tip number 4. We're on 4. The product connection. So when you're pitching an IP to a toy company, don't forget the toy. So that's an important element. We had a toy company who I won't name yet, but they were interested in IP. And I was like, oh, great. My students always have IPs, but they're obviously a toy company. So they wanted IP that they could see also having a toy line. And we had a student who had a great IP pitch, but I knew she had toys with it, and we'd refine the pitch a little bit, but there wasn't enough of a slide explaining the toy itself. Like literally, what does the toy do? How does it function? How does it function both in the show, the IP, and how does it function for the kid who brings it home? Those pieces are so important, because if they're going to buy into an IP, they really want it to have a clear shelf life, longevity. They want to have a full vision. An IP is a lot more for them to buy into. So you want to have that full vision for what it could be. And I don't know if no, this is actually another tip. And if possible, a prototype of it. Yeah, I don't want to get too far in. Okay, this is the next one I was going to go into. Tip number 5, function over form. So when you're pitching for licensing, function beats form every time, unfortunately. I had more and more companies asking for IP this year. So I got excited and a little lenient with people who were showing me products that didn't have a function, because I said, you know what, these companies, and in conversations I've privately had with people, have said they want new IP. And usually new IP means a new brand, a new story, a new character. Usually that's all they really need, right? But then when we got into the pitches, pretty much we got this message that function over form. They loved one of the IPs, and I'm thinking of an IP that Michael Herring developed. And if you're in the TCA Facebook group, you know his plush concept. Amazing. But the concern was, does it do that's different from what the brands that you were inspired by? So Michael is creating a line that's inspired by like a vintage line, and it's definitely a new version of that vintage line, but it doesn't have a mechanical feature that's different from the vintage line. And I think if he had that mechanical feature, that would have been the thing that pushed it over the edge. And then whatever that mechanical feature is, it would have to add to the personality of of what he's created. It couldn't just be like, he can't just throw on this and be like, well, its face has changed, because that wouldn't make sense for his IP or his character. Even when they are telling us they want IP, they want a mechanism. They want an IP that's going to come with some mechanical wow factor that's going to blow their socks off, that they're going to be like, oh my God, that's an innovative IP and a mechanism that we can patent and protect and no one else can rip it off, we are in. So unfortunately, because we don't work at the toy companies full time, we can't skate on design aesthetic only. We've got to bring the whole package. Function over form moving forward. All right, my next favorite one, and I hope the person's not here. I'm so sorry. I'm going to bring you up. Pitch tip number 6, no tube. We had a TCAer, and you know who you are, who had their video on YouTube. Yes, you need a Sizzle video for every pitch. We have to have Sizzle videos on these pitches, but putting it on YouTube is a no. I almost passed out with embarrassment when she hit play and a commercial came on, and it was not a good commercial. You don't want that to happen. It was so embarrassing. I was like, oh my God. So do not put your video on YouTube. Put it on Vimeo. Put it on Google. Put it on your computer. Don't put it on YouTube. And then we had to watch the commercial to watch the video. It was so bad. Again, Vimeo, Google Drive. Just don't put your pitch on YouTube. It's so bad. But I will say, this is so bad. But YouTube is an inspiration for your pitch videos. This isn't a tip, but I'll squeeze this tip in. Manish had a great pitch that you could say was almost inspired by how YouTubers do their videos. Because, YouTubers are all like, hey guys, I'm here with this like cool things. Thanks so much. And he did like a talking head video where he popped into his pitch. Like basically his pitch video was a Sizzle video with his talking head popping in and explaining things from time to time. And they loved it. Like the people that reviewed his pitch loved it. They thought that one person said they'd never seen a pitch done like that before. And they really liked having him pop in and out of the Sizzle video to explain things. So look at Manish changing the industry. We're here changing the industry. So congratulations. All right, so let's go on. Oh, I'm sorry. I have more information on NoTube. Oh yeah, right. I forgot about this. Okay. I have other reasons why you shouldn't post on YouTube. But when you post it on YouTube, it looks like your invention is public knowledge. So toy companies are very specific that they want, especially big toy companies, they don't want your idea to be public knowledge unless it happened to be public knowledge and generate like hundreds of thousands of dollars in a Kickstarter, and now they can pick it up and with very little work, like have a successful brand. Then they're like, all right, whatever. But otherwise, when you're pitching to them, you want to make it seem like this is not public knowledge. So posting it on YouTube, when this creator I was mentioning earlier brought the page up, you could see YouTube. And one, it was incredibly distracting to see all these other videos, and then you can see their watch history essentially. But also, it looks like public knowledge. The unlisted image that this video is unlisted is so small and it's grayed out. My initial instinct is, oh, this is public. And that's what their instinct's going to be too. I mentioned commercials. Actually, I don't know if I mentioned commercials. Well, I mentioned commercials, but there could be commercials in the middle of your Sizzle too if you put it on YouTube. Distractions. Some people didn't share their screen fully. So if you do that on YouTube, that's like distractions of all these thumbnails. They're reading, you don't want all of that. You want them focused on your Sizzle. But posting it on YouTube also run the risk of an unstable connection or your video being blurry. So really, if you can put your video on your computer for the pitch, all the better. Okay, let's keep going. Pitch tip number 7. We're almost done. Path-tailored pitch. So path-tailored pitch just means know your toy path before you pitch. So you guys know I do inventor, entrepreneur, corporate. Every pitch you enter, you might be entering with a different toy path. You might be an inventor in one pitch, an entrepreneur in another. Make sure that you tailor your pitch toward your goals. I have an incredible TCA who's killing the game on the entrepreneur path, but he came into a pitch with an inventor pitch. And what happened was he was pitching his product, which is in stores and doing phenomenally, but he came into it showing the ideation and showing the prototype and showing the Kickstarter and showing information that just was setting it up to look like, will you license this idea? When at the end of his pitch or in the middle of his pitch, the retailer literally asked, wait, is this just like a 3D printed sample? And I had to interject and be like, no. He's showing you a sample, but this is in production. He's been at a toy trade show. This is a product that is selling. So it's really important that you know what pitch you're going into and in TCA that you're picking the right pitch document.
Thank
Module
you.
8 has the document for inventors, and module 9 has the document for retailers. So make sure that you're choosing the right pitch document when you're prepping your pitch. Pitching for licensing requires that you have an ownable IP, whereas wholesale is going to require sales data. So when you're pitching an IP, you're like the mechanism and all that. When you're pitching the wholesale, you have to show that wholesale price. I know we had originally said you just need to show your retail price, but I've had updates from retailers that are requesting to see the wholesale price. So we'll be changing that. So you need to show that wholesale price. And if you have it, show some sales data or where your product is currently placed in other stores. All right, let's keep going. So quick recap. We're like done. We're like pretty done. 1, research a company before you pitch. 2, focus your pitch on the predictable parts of your IP. 3, use a pitch narrative for engagement. 4, IP pitches should integrate a toy line into the show. 5, for licensing, how the product works is more important than how it looks. 6, don't upload or share your video from YouTube. 7, tailor your pitch to the path you are on. Want to keep learning with me in this awesome community by your side? I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Toy Creators Academy and the Toy Challenge. So TCAers, stick with me for 5 minutes and I'll be done talking about TCA and then we're going to talk about the Toy Challenge, okay? So if you're not a TCAer, let me tell you a little bit about Toy Creators Academy. So it is a 12-month program that will help you create, market, and sell your toy idea in less than 12 months. And here's what makes it special. 3 quick slides. 1, we've got toy industry behind the scenes info and contacts. So my 12 plus years of experience is condensed into 9 modules. We've got planners, checklists, contacts, templates, and you get 3 years of access plus all updates to the course in that time. We have an awesome community. Most of them are here, not most of them, like a quarter of them are here right now. Awesome community. We share wins, we celebrate successes. You get promoted whenever I can in my channels. And we have monthly meetings, this format, where we answer questions and we do hot seats and things like that. Of course, you get an invitation to the TCA Virtual Pitch Event. It is an extra fee or a percentage if you land a deal. So you have an option. You can go for free if you pledge 1%, or you can pay a flat fee and keep it all to yourself. It's exclusive to TCA alumni and students. It is the only hands-on pitch event experience in the whole toy industry. It's the only virtual first pitch event in the toy industry. We're working really hard to make it work virtually, and we're the only ones who really care about doing that. And it is the most affordable pitch event in the toy industry. The fact that you could attend for free is probably not a good business move on my part, but it's insane. It also offers curated relationship building, the only pitch event that I know of in the toy industry that does that. Here's the new Toy Challenge bonus. So we're hosting a Toy Challenge guided by the wish list of our past pitch event attendees. Even people that aren't on this list, like Spin Master, I'm going to be reaching out to see if they are interested in participating, but I have already mentioned this Toy Challenge to all of these companies. So this Toy Challenge is going to have access to updated toy company wish lists. We're going to have group brainstorms. We're going to have trend research sessions. We're going to have one-on-one pitch refinement. What I'm doing with this Toy Challenge is I want to make sure that we have more time before our next pitch event to tailor whatever ideas we're coming up with and to ideate new ideas for toy companies. Selfishly, I also would like to pitch something. So this is going to give me space to come up with ideas too, you know? So I'm going to have prompts based on toy company wish lists. We'll brainstorm together. We'll break apart. I'll guide you on your ideas. There might be opportunities for us to partner together. This is only the second time I've done a Toy Challenge, but I have such great visions for what this could be, and it's going to start in January. So if you're new to TCA and you join TCA before the end of this month, this will be free and included. And if you're an existing TCAer and you're interested, I will send you over information. You could post in the Facebook group, or actually you could post in the chat here to let me know that you're interested, and I'll take note, but I'm going to send you guys information anyway. But I think this is going to be great. We'll probably honestly have 2 levels of company wish lists. Sometimes companies require you to sign an NDA before they give you certain wish list information. So what I'm going to propose to them is that they let me know what wish list information does not require an NDA and what wish list information does. And we'll just have multiple levels. So you will either sign an NDA to view the full wish list, or you will just see like the top level, like category information. But either way, we're going to have like brainstorm sessions like this. I want to have like kind of challenges within the challenge where I say, go to a toy store, look for this specific thing, bring back your research. I'll share my research, and we're really going to work on this together, but separate. And this could actually, you might have something come out of this where you say, oh, I actually want to work with another TCAer and go in this as a team invention studio. So lots of things could happen. Honestly, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. I think it's going to be really good. Okay. If you're interested and you're a non-TCAer, this QR code is for you. Go to toycreatorsacademy.com/challenge. There's a discount on the main price of the program, but there's also the toy challenge added. It'll be live till the end of this month. And now we can go into our Q&A, and we can share stories as well, TCAers, from your time at the pitch event. So this is the QR. Oh yeah, perfect. Oh, look, I did so good. Okay, perfect. Let's go into our Q&A. Any questions, drop them in the chat, and then let's unmute and have a combo. Okay, I already see a question from Trusty. She posted a little while ago. Is she still here? Yes. Or they, I don't. So for those, Trusty says, for those who pitched, will there be an opportunity to reflect on the recent pitch, results, and next steps, or is this just prepping for the next pitch? So actually, in this pitch event, we kind of reflected right after every pitch. I went back into the meeting room with the TCAers, and we spoke after every single pitch. I gave my feedback and my comments. We reflected and chatted after every pitch. There were 45 of them because we had one company that we could not find matches for. But yeah, we actually did that already. But we're going to do more of that right now. So we can do our reflecting now. Okay, I see a question. Giada said, where do you position the Sizzle video in the pitch narrative? Where do you what do you mean? Oh, okay. Should we go back?
Yeah, it is I think it was number 4.
Yeah, let's go back. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Your Sizzle video could be this whole thing. The whole story could be in the Sizzle video, or it could just be a pitch deck. Let's say your Sizzle video shows you setting up the game. Then let's say your Sizzle video shows some inspiration. Then your Sizzle video shows play pattern. Actually, maybe we should switch inspiration setup as I'm saying that. Let me experiment with that. And then the play pattern, wow factor, basically the win-lose or the end of the play pattern, and then explaining the how it works. So actually the how it works, you could actually end your Sizzle video at win-lose, and then you could have a conversation about how it works and Q&A. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, there's a couple of ways you could do this. I would say, yeah, there's not one way. One thing I did think though, Giada, while we were doing our pitch event, I think I'm going to show multiple options for pitch presentations in TCA, because so many people had so many different ways of presenting, where they did the inspiration by talking and then played the Sizzle video for this piece and then talked again, which isn't really something I focus on, but you guys create your own. And I think we're going to highlight those different methods because it's a great question.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, let me go back to our Q&A slide. Okay, I am going to put a timer on our Q&A. We are already at the top of the hour, but I'm going to just make sure I can do 15 minutes. Yeah, we got 15 minutes. So I'll put a 15-minute timer on for our Q&A. Apologies that my computer is moving extra slow, so I can't be the Speedy Gonzalez I normally am. Okay, we got it. We're starting timer now, or I will stay here all day. All right, going into the chat. Tressie says, how far out is the next pitch event? Amazing question. February at latest March, so February or March. Mattel has requested that we do it February. We're going to try really hard to do it. That's why the toy challenge will be January, but I don't know how many people will be able to do the challenge in January, so we're going to have to see. Right now it's set for February. Gerardo says, if you're still on the fence, go for it. Azhelle rocks. Thank you, Gerardo. Yes. Oh, you're awesome. Okay, so I see a lot of TCAers are interested in the toy challenge. Walter, Ed, Pam, Manish, Samantha, Giada, Feltus. Yay. Yay. Robin. Oh, Feltus left already. All right, bye, Feltus. Robin has a question. Feel free, unmute, Robin.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great job, Azhelle, great job.
Oh,
I know
thank
that
you.
you were up against the clock yourself, and for 45 pitches, golly, what a great job. I'm so happy for you. And I know you had your anniversary in there as well.
I did. I know I started the pitch event on my anniversary. When I told my husband the date, he was like, wait. I was like, oh God.
It's so hard to find that balance, you know, to try to figure out. But okay, so opportunity, my very first chance to pitch. And it was 10 minutes. And I
Yes.
started out with a longer pitch. And then you said, hey, that, you know, can you redo that? And then I redid my pitch to hit
Yeah.
those three, you know, to hit the three main points.
Yeah.
To hit the three main points. So that pitch came down to about four minutes. But that 10 minutes went by so quickly, and I wasn't really relaxed after that pitch was over with. And I didn't realize that was the question. I mean, I was in shock, to be honest with you, that they even spoke back to me. I was like, I had to go out later and go, okay, now what just happened? You know,
oh my gosh.
Got okay with the second. But so the time of that pitch video, is it 3 minutes? Is it, I mean, if you've got 10 minutes in the room, and do they set, I know we ran short on Mattel, really short on Mattel, but so what is that ideal pitch time to have a question and answer time?
Yeah, you don't know this because I don't think you've reached module 8 yet, right?
I did, yeah.
You
but,
did? So it should be, you want a 60-second sizzle, if possible. No, if longer, no longer than 3 minutes.
Okay.
And the 45-second mark, I say this in TCA, the 45-second mark is really when they start to lose focus. So at 45 seconds, you want to have something new happen. If your video has to be longer than a minute, that 45-second mark is more important than ever.
Okay. All right.
Would you like me to read mine? I can read it.
Andrew, yeah. You want to read yours? Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Here we go. Do you have some follow-up suggestions after a pitch, especially if they love it? So if they ask for your video and then 2 to 4 weeks goes by with no reply, would you just send them a follow-up? So that's the first part of it. Yeah,
100%. And like I say in TCA, I have a follow-up process, but yeah, I think I might even update it to have more follow-up. Follow up every like 2 weeks, like every week and a half to 2 weeks, follow up. If you get no message, follow up. There could be a chance that you're going to spam. I've noticed over the past couple years, toy companies' emails have gotten a little bit tighter. I don't know if it's because like of more scam risks. So you might have to try to follow up on LinkedIn. You might have to invest in Sales Navigator. You might have to do a little bit of extra work to make sure they're getting your email. But yeah, keep following up. And the message should change a little bit. So like your first follow-up is great to meet you at whatever event. So happy you're interested in this product. Please let me know where to send a prototype, blah, blah, blah. You send the prototype. Hey, the prototype was sent, should get to you by this date. Did you receive it? Probably won't get a response to that, but you just want to have them know your prototype was sent. Okay, it's been a week since we last spoke, or a week and a half since we last spoke. Did you have a chance to play test the prototype? Interested to hear your thoughts, and you could even point out something specific about the gameplay, blah, blah, blah. After that point, your next message has to capture their attention either with humor or with toy industry news. So you might have to say, heard about your recent blah, 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 acquisition, whatever, or congratulations on your blah, 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 something they showed on LinkedIn. Or I know I'm getting annoying with this follow-up, but I'm really excited about our partnership together. Please just give me any updates, even if it's a pass. Just want to know where we should go from here.
Fantastic. That last
Yeah.
thing that you just said is really great.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, and from there, just make sure that if you get a pass, that you don't let it die. You quickly ask for, do you have an updated wish list? And if not, please let me know when it will be ready and I'll reach out for it.
Great. And one thing I heard someone do now, I don't think it's maybe not be appropriate, but I'm going to say it. They say, just wondering if this email is still working, but that's a little bit passive aggressive.
You could say, is this still the best email for you?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's like a little better
Nicer.
twist
Yeah, I'm
on
a
it.
woman. We know how to act nice because everyone thinks, and I'm a black woman. You have to like act real nice or people be like, she's
Thank you
we
for
know
those
how to be
tips.
nice.
That was great.
All right. Let's go to the next one. Manish said, will we be able, do you want to ask your question, Manish?
I was wondering if we could get to know, who did well at the event and the kind of
Oh.
traction they got, and if there could be some sort of a case study, like how, like what they did differently, what kind of
Oh,
feedback
that's
they.
a great idea, Manish. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about it. Okay. This person I remember was talking very fast. I know that our pitches are only 10 minutes and you feel like you have a lot of information to fit in. I would say how fast she was talking made it a bit hard to understand everything. And it was also a little anxiety inducing as someone watching because you know this person is stressed out. When your pitch is 10 minutes, you have got to find a way to break it down to the LCDs. How I would do that is put it into ChatGPT and say, I need you to make this shorter, or use the Hemingway app. It's a website called like Hemingway, and you can put it in there and have it make it shorter. There's just some things you're not going to be able to fit in 10 minutes. What you want to do with the 10 minutes is leave them wanting more. You want to leave them wanting more. So that would be a tip there. And also Monica had the IP that had a toy, but did not connect it well enough in that pitch to that toy. Knowing Monica's pitch, I would have loved to see her present the concept for the show, highlight the connections with the celebrity, and then show the toy and how it would interact with the children in the show a little bit more and just leave it there. Actually, no, she had some interest from Nickelodeon and Discovery already. Have a quote or two about that and leave it there. Kylie had a great mechanism that was kind of covered up by over branding and a pitch that didn't focus enough on a singular mechanism and got a little bit messy. Some of the standout pitches themselves would be Giada and Manish, because Giada used humor. Giada and Ryan both use humor in a great way. Giada had her character as a large cardboard cutout off screen, and then funnily mentioned her and pulled her into screen and made a quick laugh moment. And Ryan said something like, wouldn't it be great if your toys could talk to you, or something like that? And everybody was like, oh, it was like a fun moment. And even when somebody didn't laugh, it was still a fun moment. So humor interjection, I would say Giada and Ryan killed it. Manish and Robin actually did a great job with videos where they didn't have to talk at all during their pitch meeting. It was like, hi, here's my Sizzle video, no talking required, which was honestly, I love that all the more, because when you pitch if you ever have to put it into their portal, if your pitch can stand for itself, almost like you're in the room, that's what you want. So the fact that you could see Robin showing her product and the reveal, you actually followed the story arc very well in your pitch. There was interest and it was building, and then you did the reveal of the wow factor and it was like, oh my God, it's so cool. Like I could see everybody's face being like, oh wow, Yeah. And Manish, yeah, same with you popping in and out unexpectedly to explain the details of your product was great. I think those were key good moments.
Any brand like I'm just like guessing, like maybe Octoflush did well. He got a lot of
like one person that did really well.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I would actually usually 1 year there's one person that is obviously
like the standout.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I think that I would say the surprise. No, honestly, no. There were definitely a few surprises. Lynn Herring got a yes when me and her didn't think that was going to be a yes. And Octoflush got interest from a company we didn't think was going to be interested. And yeah, it was actually it was like everything we thought that would work didn't work, but everything we didn't think would work did work. So it ended up being that no one pitch was ahead of the others. It was pretty even. I would say most people, a majority of people got a maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Azhelle, I have a quick question. So it seems
Go ahead, Tris.
I'm with Robin and Story Studio, and we when working on that video, it was a little bit of a challenge to determine, is this a sizzle or is this a pitch video? So towards the next pitch, it seems like there may be times when it's appropriate to have a 60-second or 45-second sizzle video and then a longer full pitch video. Would you recommend that? Or because I'm hearing kind of conflicting direction on that.
So the sizzle video is the standard in the toy industry. What happened with the TCA pitch event is that because it was only 10 minutes, some TCAers, starting with Brandon Braswell 2 years ago, decided to just record their entire pitch, and including the sizzle video. So Brandon actually similarly did what Manish did, but he said he was like full on screen giving the pitch, and then he had a sizzle video pop in. So I would say the sizzle video is 60 seconds. But you're right, a pitch, if you decide to do a whole pitch video where you're not going to talk to them, the video is going to do it all, then you're right, it would be longer. There isn't really an industry standard for that. If they see a video come through in their portal, they're going to assume it's a sizzle video. And if it's different, like it's a pitch video mixed with a sizzle video, I still wouldn't go over 3 minutes, because if they see it longer, they're not going to want to click play.
Imagine there's less back and forth available when you're just doing it just as a solid video.
Well, some of the companies have portals where they talk to you and you can reply, but you don't really want to get there because, yeah, if you have to wait for a reply, you're pushing the length of time. You're extending the length of time it will take for you to get a reply. Tressie, I also see that you asked, do you recommend trying to connect with the executive on LinkedIn prior or immediately following the pitch, or is that looked down on? Yeah, I mean, I recommend the process I say in TCA to connect with them if you're trying to get a pitch meeting. But if you already have a pitch meeting, there's no need to connect with them. I would instead save that outreach for post pitch meeting. Oh, Elise Hounslow gave a tip. Make sure you have a business email address. I don't know. I mean, maybe. Yeah. I mean, it will look nice. It would look nice if you have your Inventor Studio and your Inventor Studio name is your email address. But I have seen a lot of people with Gmail addresses that are like Inventor Studio name at Gmail. I don't think it looks terrible as long as you have a nice signature and it looks professional. Let's see. I will leave with this interesting note. After the pitch, I had a Mattel executive message me and say, is Kylie a professional inventor? Because if she is, I would like to give her access to be able to pitch us more things in the future. And to me, what that said was it wasn't clear in the pitch that she was a professional inventor. A little bit maybe from my end of how I present this pitch event to them, but then I'm sure a little bit on their end as to how important or professional the presentation itself is. I think with, Guillermo's pitch deck, it starts with, hi, I'm Guillermo, and I own blank Inventor Studio. And he has a mini logo. He has a slide showing his Inventor Studio. And he may have only made this one game, but he presents it as, we are an Inventor Studio. And that gives the appearance of, I'm a professional inventor. And you want that because big toy companies like Mattel and Hasbro, they actually have 2 pitch portals. They have one pitch portal that's for everybody, and then they have another one for their professional inventors. They also have special events for their professional inventors. And you can get invited to those events when you're in the other pitch portal. Honestly, I don't know how they choose, because sometimes I get invited and sometimes I don't. So I don't know how they pick, but I do know it's because I'm on this platform. I get inventor updates from Mattel, Hasbro as well. Just so you know, Hasbro's public platform is called Spark. Their professional platform for professional inventors is called Ignite. Mattel's public platform is called My Mattel Ideas. Their professional platform is called Mattel Inventor Connect. I don't know. There is not a hard, fast rule that you have to license something to get on one of these other platforms. I have been able to get my TCAers on those other platforms just from this pitch event. Sometimes we do it, sometimes we can't. Sometimes it's just dependent on their executive's preference that year, honestly. That's it. We are at a close. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today for this pitch event recap. And I hope to see you in the next Choi Challenge. Take care. Bye.